And then I woke up this morning to a big order. It's the biggest order I've ever had by I don't know how many times. And they're in Japan, which means we're going to a whole new continent. So I thought we might do an impromptu unboxing. Can you see that? And I could just put a lot of it back in my shop at full price, but what I thought might be fun is doing mystery bundles. Good morning everyone and welcome to a brand new studio vlog. First off, I just want to say thank you so much for the love on last week's vlog. It's my most viewed vlog in probably ever. And I just couldn't believe it. So thank you so much. This morning, I don't even know where to start because I had a plan for the day. I had a plan what I was going to come and do, what I was going to vlog. And then I woke up this morning to a big order. So what has happened is I went to a trade show in January. You will have seen those vlogs, or if not, you can go back and watch them. And it was my first trade show and I made lots of contacts there that I've been following up with, and I've had some lovely orders come through. And I've been negotiating with this one particular company and sending information backwards and forwards, and we're 3 months down the line, so I kind of hoped that it would be a bigger order because they were obviously taking longer to think about it. But when I woke up this morning and I looked at my emails and I opened the order, I had a shock. I'm not going to say who it's for at this stage because, yeah, we need to sort out contracts and things, and, you know, there's a part of me that thinks, why are you even saying this on the vlog? Because, you know, what if it falls through? What if? But it's the biggest order I've ever had by I don't know how many times. They want hundreds and hundreds of pins, stickers, and notepads, and I'm just like, yeah. And they're in Japan, which means we're going to a whole new continent. I am just... I don't even know what I am. I am both tremendously excited and tremendously stressed because I said to my husband this morning, it's like I learnt to lay my first brick yesterday and then today someone's been like, right, so build me a house because obviously it's a lot of work. It's not the same because obviously I know what to do, it's not that, but it's yeah, a hell of a lot of work. So there we go, I'm going to move you over because the light situation, I still haven't got any blinds. And it's very sunny today. But yeah, as you can probably tell, I normally speak quite freely on these vlogs. I'm really like, I don't know what to say. I just can't believe this has happened. So there's lots of work to do. So yeah, I need to do a stock count. I need to know what I've got in stock of all these items that they want. And then I need to talk to my manufacturers about lead times because I know I'm not going to have the full amount of everything that they want. I'm going to have to place a pin order, and I want to order some new pins, but the designs aren't quite ready yet. When I say quite ready, some aren't quite ready, some haven't been done. So they're definitely not ready. So part of me thinks I should just start the discussions about this and forget the other ones. Yeah, I don't want to mess around with an order this big with the lead time, so I'm going to start those conversations. I need to look into contracts and terms and conditions and stuff. Yeah, there's just loads to do. So I think my normal process for processing orders isn't going to cut it with this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a project on Notion and brainstorm all the things that I'm going to have to do from now to getting this order out the door. And then I'm sure I'll feel a bit less stressed, a bit like things are more in control. But yeah, I'm not used to waking up with a plan and the whole thing going so far out the window. Sometimes things go out the window. In fact, a lot of times things go out the window. Not usually so far out the window, but we'll see. Ultimately, there will only be so much I can do today because I'll be relying on negotiating lead times with manufacturers and things, and that takes time. So let's get on the laptop and let's start doing one of my favourite things, which is making a plan. Everyone, so we're mid-afternoon now and I have had some revelations. I attended a co-working session with Coke and Natasha's Patreon. I'll link it in the description below because I've been loving attending these. So every Tuesday at 1 o'clock she runs a co-working session where you can log in and we just chat as we're getting on with stuff. We ask each other questions. So it's all small business owners, but like different types of small businesses. And I kind of plucked up the courage to ask my question and say, you know, I've had this big order come through from Top Drawer and I'm kind of doubting myself about like my current terms and conditions and my processes and what I normally do, and I'm assuming the company won't want to pay the full amount up front like I normally ask for. And the lovely ladies on the call pulled me right out of the pit of self-doubt. Yes, thank you, heat press. My heat press is getting angry at me for not using it and leaving it on. So they pulled me right out of the pit of self-doubt and said, you know, you're making assumptions here. You don't know, you haven't asked for them. You're thinking this is a huge amount of money for you. There's no way they're going to pay it. For them, it might be like a little amount. It might be a little order compared to what they usually place. You don't know that. And, you know, you've got systems in place. I explained what they were. Other people who wholesale were like, yeah, that's what I do. And so I kind of realised that it was the self-doubt and that I was kind of telling myself that I'm not a big enough business to have this order and they're going to know that I'm a fraud. They're going to know that I'm not big enough, professional enough, like all the enoughs that we tell ourselves. And so they gave me a pep talk and it was much appreciated, and now I'm giving myself that pep talk. And so I've replied to them and said, you know, thanks for the order confirmation. Super excited to be working with you, and I'm going to get back to you by the end of this week if that's okay, with lead times and like confirmation of the details. And that's what I'd normally do in this situation, and I don't see anything wrong with that. So I am going to proceed as I usually would. I've done my counting of my stock, and I've started making a list of what I need to order, so I'm going to contact the manufacturer this afternoon. Oh my god. Yeah, my husband came in doing a little dance earlier. He was like, you've got this order, you've got this big order. And I was just like, it was really lovely to have a little celebration. And not that that was a celebration, but just to have that little moment of being like, stop stressing about what you need to do and just take it in for a minute and be like, you wanted to go to the trade show to get some big orders. And I came away from the trade show thinking it's going to take me a few trade shows to do that. And actually, this one company has taken more of a chance on me. Now, I am super grateful for all the stockists I've been working with, don't get me wrong. I don't want this to sound like negative in any way, but I just think I kind of needed this. I really needed it. I mean, for one, I had way too many pins in stock, and I spoke to my business advisor that I've got towards the end of the tax year in March, and he was like, I can see all this money coming in, but you've got so much money going out, and like, what's happened here? And I was like, yeah. So before Christmas, I had suddenly a big rise in stockists. So I think I went from like 2 to 5 stockists or something on like a regular basis. I was being stocked in there, and they were asking me for restocks. Plus I knew I had the trade show coming up, and it was Christmas. And so things seemed to be ramping up from where they were. And I was like, okay, I kind of panic ordered way more pins than I needed to. I was really worried about running out of stock, and like that period of Christmas and the trade show being my biggest opportunity to earn money, and then all of a sudden having to turn around and not be able to fulfill things, kind of damaging relationships with current stockists, that kind of thing. So because of the lead times it takes on pins, I was like, I better order a lot more. And that stock has just been sat there, and I thought it's going to take me a long time to get through this now, and my money's tied up in stock. So actually, to be able to shift a lot of that is nice. And then with the restock, I'm just going to leave myself with more sensible stock levels of the pins instead of what some of them were. And some of them I don't need to reorder at all, which is nice. But I did a tally of what they wanted in terms of items. So across pins, stickers and notepads, it's 5,836 items. Like, just what? Which is why when I think about the amount of work that's going to be to get it out the door, especially when I'm about to go to South Korea for 2 weeks, I start to panic. However, I've got it. I'll make it work. Heaven forbid this order falls through and I'm going to have to come back on one of these vlogs and be like, yeah, it's not happening now. However, I wanted to share it because I wanted to document it, because I woke up this morning to a totally different world and my products might be in Japan. I can feel myself getting a bit emotional. Anyway, I hope this doesn't come across as like gloaty or braggy, or like, I think it's a very British thing to be like, oh, you know, I want to be modest, and yeah, I hope it just doesn't come across in any negative way. I just want to share. And this might be a kind of once in a lifetime order. And you've also got to remember that the profit margin on these items is so blinking small. But regardless, like, this is what I put all the hard work into the trade show for, and this is what I have been putting the hard work into keeping, like, nurturing relationships with stockists over the last few months. And I guess it's like a lesson in things don't always have like an immediate payoff. It's like playing the longer game with things, and it's all those little steps that can build up to a bigger thing. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just a bit like overwhelmed. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm taking a minute to feel proud of myself and excited, as well as mega stressed. So, no, I'm not mega stressed, I'm not mega stressed. Anyway, I've been waffling about this for way too long. What I'm going to do now is, I've just shared some stories on my Instagram, which I'm super excited about. So my retro collection, the Find Your Groove collection that I've just released a couple of weeks ago, it features in the last few vlogs. Just people have been loving the designs and it makes me so, so happy. And I didn't have the lead time to be able to do pins on this order, and I love creating enamel pins. It's probably my favourite thing to make. And so I've just put a story together, well, a few, asking for opinions on would people like to see any of those designs as enamel pins. I did this a lot with the collection, is try and gauge people's feedback and what they would like to see, and see if there's any demand for it. You know, if one person says, yeah, I like that, versus like however many people say I like that, it obviously gives me a bit more of a guide. Or if no one says they like it, that's a definite guide. So I've put a poll on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, I am kind of engaging that way more. So it's at Sunshine Lane UK if you want to go over and check it out. Shameless plug. And I've also put one on about washi tapes, because it's been ages since I've done washi tapes and they're not a huge seller in my shop. So I've kind of been umming and ahhing as to whether I want to do washi tapes again moving forward, but I love them and they are a kind of, they trickle out. It's been more of a trickle than a flood, but yeah, I thought I would gauge people's opinions on washi tapes as well, and I guess that's one way to test it. So I've asked whether people would like to see washi tapes with the individual designs, washi tapes with a combination of the designs, so people can leave their comments and let me know what they think. And now my plan is, I have one more stockist that I was so close to sending the new collection out to, and then yesterday I was heat pressing tote bags ready to go out in the order. It's the last thing I've got to prepare, and I ran out of like the first lot I ordered, so I opened the new box that had come and they were all black tote bags, and I'd ordered natural, like a beigey, creamy beige colour, and I was like, oh my god. And that box had sat on the floor for a week. I should have just opened it when it came. So I couldn't finish the order, so they replaced it for me next day, which I was super grateful for, and they have now arrived. So I'm going to press the last few tote bags and then get this new stock of this new collection out to the lovely Flutter and Fern. I think it really fits their vibe, this new collection, and I'm excited to send them some of my new stock. They've had some of my previous stock, which is in there currently. So yeah, I will get on with that. And then what I want to do is, in the last vlog, you will have seen me take my new stock to my two stockists, their different Design 44 stores, and I came back with a bunch of stock that I pulled off displays and out of the stock room that I'm not going to display there anymore. And I had the idea of doing mystery boxes, mystery bags, some sort of bundles, some combination of those types of things. And so what I want to do is actually unpack those bags, see what I've come back with, and have a think about that. So no more waffle, let's get moving. So I thought we might do an impromptu unboxing because I have just had this new tripod arrive that I bought from TikTok shop. I was influenced. So I've not been asked to review it or anything. I just bought it with my own money and was like, yeah, I want this. I also want it for when I go on holiday soon, because what it is, so it is a gimbal, I think they're called. So it's like a little tripod, but if you can see, like, it's, you put your phone on this arm. What happens is like, as you're recording and you've got shaky hands and you're walking about and stuff, it stabilizes where the phone is, so the tripod will move around to like counteract your wobbling. So it gives you smooth footage instead of having to like faff about afterwards and try and do what's it called, like stabilize the footage in the editing. So I paid about £35 for it. I treated myself with my own money for my holidays, but I'll also use it for work. So let's open it, see what it's like. Okay, so I mean, it's not the smallest to like put in your bag. If you think about my current one, it's a lot smaller, and there is an extra bit you can put on the bottom which like turns it into a tripod. So this is for handheld, and there we go, goes like that. Woo! You see how it moves? Whoa! And then this moves as well, so it will like move around. And I think I'm right in saying that, say if you had it in tripod mode and you were moving around, it will also track you. So I could like move around my office talking to you and it would move so that it was focused on my face. So I think that's pretty doody. So there's buttons on here. So this back one you use to take a picture. So it's like shortcut buttons. You've got your zoom in and out function there. And then who knows what all these other things do. We'll have to look in the manual, but there's like a swiddly button and then two buttons. It needs charging. There is a charging cable. And then this is the bit you would put on the bottom. So it opens up like this, and that then makes it a tripod rather than you holding it, and it just screws in the bottom. It's not huge to like put in a bag. Obviously if it's a tiny little handbag it's taking up room, but to just throw that in a bag is not much. And obviously if I had this, thinking about it, I would also need this bit to like attach my phone to. That's an extra piece. So when you think about it like that, it's not actually taking up that much room. It's just one piece rather than it being two bits, and you screw it on and off. I don't know if you can get attachments to put a camera on here, because obviously this is a phone grip. I don't know if you can get a camera one, but that's worth looking into. So let me change that camera angle so that you can ironically actually see what I'm doing. Whoa! It's moving. Whoa! Oh my god, when I held down the power button, it like wiggled itself into a portrait position. And now look, what is it doing? Oh my lord. The robots are taking over. Right, I feel like such a boomer. However, I don't know how to get it into Bluetooth mode. Come on, instructions. Click portrait to switch. Whoa! Did you see that? So if you look at this bit, if I click it now, oh, it changes the direction. So between portrait and landscape mode, that's genius. So you don't have to manually do it. So there's different modes in terms of whether or not it'll follow you and stuff like that, which I'll have to have a play with. Your photo button's on the back. You can manually move it using this like swizzly button here. So you can like manually rotate it, the direction of it, up and down. Ooh, okay, okay. And then, so how do you connect it? Right, am I going mad? It doesn't say that in the manual. Oh, I've pressed a button. I think you need an app, but it only says that in a non-English page. Okay, be right back. Okay, so on a page that looks maybe French, I saw there was a QR code. So I scanned the QR code and it took me to the App Store to download the app. So Fabulous. Downloaded the app, opened it, turned my tripod back on, and then straight away it's come up with, I don't know if you'll see, a pairing request for Bluetooth on my phone. So I'll click pair, and I think we're now done. It's got its own camera app in the phone. So rather than opening your camera app, your like regular camera app, you open this. So if I just like pop it on the tripod bit for now. So I'm going to screw that on. This feels a bit flimsy, but I think it'll be fine. It's just plastic, that's all. Open that out, but it's really wide legs. So I'm going to put that on the desk. I'm going to move so you can see what I'm doing. So let's say I was doing a live. There, camera's in. It's facing me. Beauty is on. Oh, thank you. Naturally, or as I'm moving around, it is trying to like, can you see that? The phone stays stable even if my arms move. Like, how clever is that? It's got like a counterweight in it, I suppose. Yeah, the tripod bit is slightly wobbly. That's not the most stable thing in the world. But equally, the full price gimbals are like well over 100 quid, maybe like 200 quid. I think there's one called the Insta360 that I've seen some people using, and it's really expensive. So I can move it manually, look. Like tilt it down, tilt it up. You know, I don't have that with this. I don't have such range of movement. So if I'm only taking this to an event, like it's hard to film me doing planning activities and stuff like that. Whereas if I took this, I could like angle it down at the table and like you would still be able to see what I was doing, if that makes sense. Got a bit more range of movement on what it can do. So then if I like click this, did you see that? Move it this way so you can see. Watch. Portrait mode. Landscape mode. That's really cool. Oh, face tracking. There you go. So as I'm moving, it is moving to like follow me. So if I wanted to do like a bit of a dynamic live where I was moving around and showing you things, I'm showing you this, I'm showing you that, I could do that. That's like super clever. Okay, and lesson learned. When you turn it off, it goes floppy, so maybe take your phone out first, although it didn't hit anything, and then you literally just unscrew the tripod bit, and then this like just folds in on itself. That's super clever. Oh, I've just noticed on the back of the packaging it says, scan this QR code to download the Gimbal Play app. Yeah, so I think this actually has a lot of applications for both vlogging and just like personal out and about. Well, I suppose they're like mini vlogs for myself. But for example, like when I go on holiday, I want to take lots of little videos and like put together a little video of my trip and stuff like that. And I just think it will allow me to just move around more freely without having to like really strain to try and keep things steady. And I have fibromyalgia and I have quite shaky hands. And so it is something that I struggle with a lot. And so when I saw people talking about the Insta360, I was like, oh my God, that's such a cool gadget. And then when I saw the price of it, let me just double check what the price is. Yeah, so their lowest price one is £133. Then they have another one with some extra bits and bobs, it's £175. And then, yeah, they've got like other products and stuff that go up to like £300. So I was like, oh, okay, that was short-lived. Like, I'm priced out of that. And then I started getting videos about these ones on TikTok, and I was like, for 35 quid, I'm going to give it a go. And I'm really glad I did. So I will experiment with it, and I'll keep you posted on how I'm getting on with it. And I will keep you posted after my trip on how I got on with like having it in my bag and using it out and about, whether it was useful or whether it was a bit of a faff. Because I think it could be actually a really useful tool for vlogging and creating content for my small business. Because even if you're not a vlogger, like more and more we're expected to create video content to promote products and stuff, and being able to like do more dynamic lives and see products in action, I think it'll be a useful little tool. So I'll keep you posted on that. What time is it? 4:45. I think I'm going to start unpacking from Design 44 now. So I've got my bags of stuff I've brought back. So I think I'm going to clear a space on my middle island and just start getting everything out, and we'll see what I've got. Okay, so I'm going to give you a tour of what I've got on the table, minus the Christmas decorations that came back, because I don't think it's the time of year for that. What was actually really bizarre was getting stuff back that said Plan, Inspire, Create on it. So I rebranded my business last October, and I have been basically replacing all the packaging. So the stock that was already in my current stockists, like I think they still had some out the back and they haven't been sold first. So yeah, I brought some stuff back that I thought, let's just whip those off the display and switch the packaging. Some of it I will change the packaging and sell, but there's a bunch of stuff that I'm just going to sell as is. And it was, yeah, a bit of nostalgia seeing things with Plan, Inspire, Create on when I'm like 6 months, 7 months after the rebrand. So that was nice, but a strange feeling. So I have got 5 washi tape designs in stock now. One of them is like my current one that I've just been stocking as normal, which is the positive patterns. So it's pop on your positive patterns. So I've got quite a few of those in stock still. Then we have this one had completely gone out of stock, which is part of the first washi set I ever did. It's a terrazzo print on a cream background. It's pink, blue and yellow, if you can see that. And it matches the One Day at a Time washi, which has recently gone out of stock. So that's the One Day at a Time design, which is super cute. So I've now got some of those back in, and I've got one of my Live Life Sunny Side Up left, which is my little fried egg with the smiley faces. And then I've got some of the paper boats, which is this one. So that's the paper boats, really, really pretty. So they're the washi tapes I've got left. So I've got 5 designs of washi tape. Then I've got some pins that have come back. So I've got a bunch of these with the Plan, Inspire, Create packaging. So they are the Power Perfume pins, part of the Self-Care Cosmetics range. Then we've got 4 left of these cute little wooden pins that say the sun will shine again. We have got one of these, which I just sold out of. It's the old colour of the Self-Doubt Remover. This is a bright pink now. And then one of the Self-Love Serum, which I don't sell anymore. Like, this is in clearance, it's the last one. I've got a few of the Stay Positive battery pins in silver. They're now in a black nickel, so it's a colour that I'm not currently selling in the shop. I've got a bunch of these sleep masks, which say working on your dreams, and it's in a really pretty, like, pearlescent vinyl that, like, it kind of changes colour a little bit as the light hits it. It's really pretty. I have got calendars. Got a few of these left. So every month has its own illustration and like self-care quote, and then a big monthly planner at the bottom. I've also got the mini desk calendars, which are a little easel, which I'm thinking, we're now in April, they are discounted on the website, but perhaps they can go in a bundle and be done with them until kind of autumn. I have 2 of the Positive Pants like postcard prints left. The cellophane's kind of shining it, but it's like the little pants on the washing line with time to pop on your Positive Pants. And again with these ones, which I don't have in the shop anymore, what's it say? Find a pocket of joy in every day, and it's like this lavender and lemon flat lay. I have a whole bunch of things in here, bookmarks, postcards. These are like one-offs that are out of Patreon boxes and things. I've got these little cute little resilience journals. So these went in a Patreon box. It says, when life gives you lemons, what will you make with them? And this journal contains 30 questions to help you think about resilience. And then on the inside, it's like 30 questions with half a page each. So there's some of those. I've got affirmation cards. I've got these little pop-out quote books, some badges, a bookmark, some other postcards. So there's loads of stuff in there. I've got these 4 designs of notebooks, which are like old designs in my shop, and these have been in clearance. Got them in A6 and A5. So one's the paper boats, which matches the washi tape. One is in a sea of fish, be a mermaid, with this pretty little mermaid print. One is a Christmas one. Now, I'm not sure if you want that in the box right now. And the other one is autumn leaves, this gorgeous little leafy print. So I've got tons of those. I've got these habit tracker pads left. I love these habit tracker pads. They're my old Plan, Inspire, Create colours, and I tend to have things a bit brighter and bolder now. So I'm thinking of doing a redesign. Do you want to see more habit trackers in the shop? Let me know in the comments. But I've got a bunch of these that could go in goodie boxes. Then I have got this whole great big box of seconds, which consists of stickers. We have got mirrors, we've got rings, we've got pins, we've got all sorts. Yeah, like for example, these little mirrors, and all that's wrong with them is they just have black speckles on them, but they're my pocket mirrors. So yeah, they're only slight imperfections. There's key rings in there, there's loads of stuff. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? Oh, so like this sticker, for example, it probably won't even show up on camera, but there's a tiny white dot there, so I put it in seconds. So I've got absolutely tons of stuff. And I could just put a lot of it back in my shop at full price, but what I thought might be fun is doing mystery bundles. And so I'd give like an overview of, for example, this bundle contains 2 notebooks, a notepad, 2 pins, blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't necessarily know which ones, a washi, some stickers. I'd make it clear what in the bundles was going to be perfect stock and what was going to be slight seconds, and perhaps do a few tiers of bundles and just do a bit of a clear out of stuff. Because I've had my new collection in, and I think let's make a bit of space in the studio. What do you think? I'd love it if you could leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know if you think that's a good idea before I go to the effort of trying to put all these bundles together. I would very, very much appreciate that. I'm now going to go for a lovely walk with my dog Maggie and my mum and her dog Millie, and have a bit of self-care time after the day. It's been a funny old day in the life today because obviously, as is the case with small business, what I thought I was going to do today didn't end up being exactly what I did today, but I hope you enjoyed seeing behind the scenes of my day and how I manage self-doubt, like how I manage changes in my business, changes to my schedule, the need to give yourself a pep talk from time to time and seek support from other small business owners. I think it's really important. And like I said, I'd really love to know your thoughts on these mystery bundles. I said in the last video that I would really appreciate it if you were able to like, subscribe, comment, any or all of those, because it's really helping me reach the people that will want to see my videos, because I used to do predominantly planner content, and now it's more behind the scenes vlogs. Sometimes the algorithm gets a bit confused on who my videos are for, and it really helped to get more people and the right people over to my channel. So if you were able to do the same again, I would love you forever. And you have the perfect reason to comment, because you can tell me about these mystery bundles. So I'm going to stop waffling now. I hope you all have a lovely evening, and I will see you next week, where we are going to make some progress with these mystery bundles if you actually want them. I'll speak to you all very soon. Bye everyone.